English made easy. Hey guys! Bored of those vocab lists? Me too. At 1 Degree North Companion, we're turning wordly wise into an adventure to make learning actually interesting. Let's jump in. Book 3. Lesson 15.
Have you ever looked at a chessboard and wondered, is this just a game? 64 squares, a few carved pieces of wood. Or is it something more? Like a training ground for the mind, where every single move tells this epic story of strategy, of intellect, of battle. It's a journey so many of us start, but really, only a few ever master. So today, let's dive in and explore the vocabulary of that incredible journey. For most of us, the path starts right here. Chess as just a simple pastime. Maybe it's a hobby you learned as a kid, or something you share with family on a quiet afternoon. And the word itself, it tells that story perfectly. A pastime. It's literally something you do to pass the time. A pleasant little moment of leisure. But, it's often in these simple beginnings where the deepest challenges are hiding in plain sight. And this is where everything changes. Suddenly, the board just transforms. Behind that casual game lies this profound challenge. It's a fight that isn't played with your hands. It's fought entirely inside your mind. Yeah, this whole mental contest, it's a huge deal. The word comes from the Latin mens, which means mind or intellect. We're talking about the realm of pure thought here. Chess stops being about just moving pieces around. It becomes about building this incredible mental architecture of the future, this complex, beautiful web of possibilities. So you've got this amazing mental strength. But how do you test it? Well, the answer lies in competition. And the idea of competition has some surprisingly intense origins that take us way, way far from the quiet chessboard. Today, when you hear the word tournament, you think of a series of contests to find a winner, right? But the original tournaments, oh man, they were so much more dramatic. A true clash of steel and will. Get this, the first tournaments held in France almost 1,000 years ago, they weren't games at all. They were brutal training exercises for war. We're talking knights in full armor, on horseback, fighting to get real battle experience. So, in a way, the chessboard is kind of the modern-day descendant of that very battlefield. So how in the world did we go from that chaotic medieval clash to the structured intellectual competition we have today? It happened through two really elegant concepts: divisions and ratings. The word division is all about creating order. Now, it can be a physical thing, right? Like a river that marks the division of an island. But in competition, a division is what separates players into groups based on their skill. It makes sure that every single match is a fair and meaningful challenge. And to create those divisions, well, you first have to rate the players. You've got to assess their skill and place them at a very specific level. This rating system, it's the absolute backbone of competitive chess. It creates this clear, visible ladder for a player to climb. Okay, so let's shift gears from the big structure of competition to the journey of just one climber. Let's look at the path of a chess grandmaster, someone like Irina Krush. Her journey shows us that climbing that ladder, it takes a lot more than just raw skill. The journey almost always starts with talent, that natural, almost magical ability to see the patterns on the board. It's the initial spark. But a spark all by itself, well, it can't keep a fire going for long. That talent has to be forged in the fire of theory. And in chess, theory isn't some vague, abstract idea. Oh no, it is a colossal body of knowledge, openings, strategies, endgames that have been developed over centuries. It's literally the playbook that transforms raw talent into strategic genius. And mastering that theory is what lets a player promote or rise up to a higher rank. The word's origin, it tells the whole story. It comes from the Latin pro, meaning forward, and movere, meaning to move. See? Talent is the potential, but theory is the engine of that forward movement. So, the talent has been sharpened by theory. The player has moved forward. And now we arrive at the end of the game. This is where every decision, every calculation, it all comes together in one single defining moment. The outcome, the final result of that whole intense mental battle. It could be checkmate, could be a stalemate, or maybe the quiet handshake of resignation. Whatever it is, it's the result that gets written down next to your name. And with any outcome that isn't a win, another feeling often shows up: regret. That feeling of being sorry for a move you made or an opportunity you missed. For any competitor, man, it can be a really heavy, powerful emotion. But this This is where the Grandmaster's mindset really shines. For a player like Irina Krush, regret gets completely reframed. A loss isn't some endpoint to feel sorry about, it's just data. Every single failure is simply the starting point for a new understanding. It's a new beginning. So there we have it. We've journeyed from a simple pastime all the way into the mind of a grandmaster. We've seen how these words map out this entire world, from the battlefields of ancient tournaments to the inner world of modern strategy. And now, the board is yours. So I want you to think about it. What is your pastime? What are the mental challenges it presents to you? What talent does it demand, and what theory do you need to learn to promote yourself to that next level? You know, the game of life, just like chess, is always waiting for your next move.
Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. I'll see you in the next one.